One. Hi everyone. Welcome back to DM Talks. I'm Brian.
I'm Zane.
And I'm Cychris.
Yeah, welcome back. Today we're gonna talk about the new One D&D classes. Today we're gonna talk about Barbarians, and especially those who really love playing it. Yep.
Yep. Someone like me who loves playing as Barbarians, this is really interesting. And if you thought Barbarians were already, powerful, wait until you hear about what they've added and changed, and it's just going to make it so much more versatile, so much more fun to play.
And we're gonna be talking about discussing on the new combat options to revamp subclasses, and we've got a lot of things to cover. So let's dive in right now.
Okay, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is some of the core changes that we're gonna have. So the biggest change that we're gonna have is something called Weapon Mastery. So Weapon Mastery is basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna add special weapon properties to each of the individual weapons, and all the classes are gonna get it. I think I haven't seen all the different classes, but all of it is gonna be there, and each of the weapons is gonna have it. So I think Barbarians get two different weapons that they can master themselves in. So they still can use all the other weapons, but I don't think they will have all the weapon masteries.
So every single class is getting weapon masteries.
Yes.
And the number of weapon masteries you take, does it depend on your class as well?
I think so. I believe that like the fighter, right, has the best set of it. The thing is, once you have your weapon mastery for your class, right, you can't change it. The fighter can change it every long rest. So, but we're not talking about fighters.
Yeah.
It's all about the Barbarians today.
Yeah.
Barbarians.
Fighters will be a later time.
Yep. So it will give the players a more strategic option in terms of combat, like what we see for fighters and rogues lah.
Absolutely. And now they've improved ways of maintaining your rage, making it a lot easier. So now, if there are no enemies nearby, Barbarians can use their abilities to force make saving throws or even maintain their rage, so they don't have to, try find ways to attacking just to keep up their rage, as what was done in D&D previously. This is even better for those who like playing as Dragonborn Barbarians, and we know a couple of people that like using Dragonborns, who can use their breath weapon to maintain their rage. I think this really adds a nice improvement to when you play as a Barbarian.
Another key change to Barbarians is danger sense. So at level 2, Barbarians do not need to see the source of danger in order to get this benefit.
So that's a big change.
So it's the only time it's turned off is when they're incapacitated. So it's kind of
It's kind of mood at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, but it really shows the supernatural sense of danger they have, because they're barbarians, so they're supposed to have danger sense. So I think I can think of one situation that that is similar. Well,
I think more with Barbarians, you sense the danger from them.
Yeah, that's true. But an example of this can be, I remember Zane, he played in a Westmarch campaign. He was playing a barbarian. The party decided to investigate this room. He decided to just leave. Next thing we know, the place blew up.
Oh yes, I thought about I think I should leave the room.
Yeah.
I don't think I should be here right now.
He
I think
actually
something's
had
gonna
danger sense, but not in game, but in real life. So that is a really cool change of Barbarians right now, and it's almost like as if they can feel the danger before it happens.
Okay, so the other thing that we're going to talk about is primal knowledge, which all Barbarians get when they're level 3. So this feature lets the Barbarians use their strength for ability checks while raging, which will be hilarious for some games, I think.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So regardless of any ability that is actually tagged with, I can only imagine what the deception while raging using your strength score will be like. So I think it's something that we will probably have to wait for the player's handbook to come out to actually see how they implement this. But what it does is it gives Barbarian, and in fact all martial classes I think has something similar to this, right? More utility outside of combat. Because sometimes it's only the bard that talks, or only the paladin that talks, or only the warlock that talks, right? So this gives a lot of utility outside of combat to make them more well-rounded characters.
I can imagine asking to do a perception check, and the barbarian's just lifting up drawers, lifting the bed up, just looking around the room instead of just glancing
You're gonna be
around.
raging as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that also makes sense for intimidation checks, because you're raging. It definitely helps to scare the living poop out of someone's pants.
I mean, it will work well with persuasion as well.
Yeah.
What about history?
You are punching the
The
book
books.
until you get the information.
Okay.
All right. So I think we can move on to something new and some updated features they've added for barbarians. One we have is instinctive pounce, which barbarian gets at level 7. So this feature lets the barbarians leap into any direction when they activate their rage. It's a simple addition that they've added, but it gives more of a mobility on the battlefield, which can be which I think is pretty cool, because now it's I believe it's like an optional thing that you can add for your barbarian, where you rage and then you just move move
I
like
think
half
it's some
your
of the
movement
class,
speeds.
yeah.
But I think the fact that you're leaping into action, I think it makes it basically makes it more cinematic as well. So
And this is for all barbarians.
this is for all barbarians, which can also be a game changer in tight situations.
More makes it very barbaric. But another another feature, new feature that's been changed is brutal strike, which replaces the old brutal critical. This is very new because now instead of just adding your weapon damage dice to your brutal critical, now you can forego your advantage on your reckless attacks to add more damage, but additionally you can add in more features, like for example pushing an enemy or slowing them down. So it adds more features and effects for the barbarians, and this really amps up their control in the battlefield, making them barbaric in a sense.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the only improvement they have. They have another new feature that they're adding, which is called Relentless Rage. So it's tweaked to be more effective in terms of reducing the chances of getting knocked out as soon as you bounce back. So you get healed, you rage, and then you get down again, and then you're probably out of rage, and you don't know what you're gonna do, and it's basically poking the enemy with your greatsword. So it makes the barbarian more thematic in terms of what it's supposed to be on the tank, which on the battlefield, which is a tank.
So so now let's talk about the subclasses now of the barbarians.
Okay.
Now let's start with the most simple barbarian class, subclass out there, which
The
is
angry barbarian.
Yes, the angry barbarian. And the barbarian I played for the first time is the Path of the Berserker, which needed some changes, especially its ability. But now the updated ability for Frenzy, instead it's been redesigned to avoid causing exhaustion while still getting the chance to deal extra damage on their attacks once per turn. And this and you can use this in your reckless attack, and this is a big improvement because it makes the subclass more viable for long-term play. Because if I recall, the first time I played it, I think
You didn't use Frenzy?
I did use Frenzy, but I think I managed to get 2 exhaustion out of there because the party decided, let's continue on. I'm like, guys, please let me rest. I have 2 exhaustion.
So they've removed the exhaustion factor from the frenzy
because
attacks?
I think exhaustion has changed as well. Like the time we talked the last podcast, right?
Right.
So it's the number of levels times 2 in terms of your ability checks, attacks, saving throws, which is quite punishing if you have
Yeah.
2 exhaustion.
Pretty good. And one of the other things they've sort of changed as well is the mindless rage. That's been updated as well. So now it ends the charmed and frightened conditions instead of just suppressing it. So you use your mindless rage, no more charm, no more frightened.
Yeah, I've always thought that should be the way for barbarians, right? I'm
Yeah.
too angry to be afraid.
And too angry to be frightened as well. And retaliation as well, which has been moved from level 14 to a level 10, letting you get your hands on it earlier. Meanwhile, intimidating presence has been moved to level 14, and now it affects multiple creatures within 30 feet, using a bonus action. So solid overall upgrade, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. But there's another class that's available as well. It's a Path of the Wild Heart, which is used to be the old Totem Warrior.
Love Totem Warriors, man.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some changes to it. I'm not sure whether everybody's going to be happy or not. But
I don't know which side of the fence I'm on yet.
yeah. We gotta play test some of this stuff as well. So it's been revamped for more flexibility. So now what you can do is like now you gotta choose when you're level 3, you choose your what totem you're gonna be, right? And you're stuck with it the entire game. Now every long rest you get to choose your totem all over again. So you can switch. Let's say if you're going to travel, you can switch back to elk from the bear. You can switch to eagle if you're like doing investigations. So I think that's really good flexibility in terms of what it offers to barbarians, because a lot of times, okay, I'm going to be combat oriented, I'm going to be bear all the way every day, right? And you got no chance to change that. And there's like, it's not like sorcerers get every level I get to swap in and out, right? You can't really do that when once you choose your totem, or can you? So yes, as I was saying, you can change it after every long rest to adapt. And then at level 6, it's also been improved as well to give you more practical benefits, because some of it, like the bear one, like lifting extra stuff, doesn't really play into a part if you're not playing with encumbrance. You're almost never used to it. It's the only thing that you can have is I can carry almost the whole party if I want to. Okay,
true.
I'm carrying the party physically and literally.
That's
okay,
true.
so it gives benefits like swim speed, climb speed, or improved dark vision, depending on what animal spirit you're actually taking.
Another interesting thing is that we have finally a brand new subclass for the barbarians, and that is Path of the World Tree, which sounds very cool. So this one focuses on barbarian connections to mythical trees that link to different worlds, which I found pretty interesting because, you know, it's like a multiverse or different trees. So,
Yeah, sure. But I have a feeling they took this inspiration actually from Diablo 4.
oh, really?
Diablo, their barbarians they are the guardians of the world tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So in this subclass, it basically offers a mix of support abilities like granting temporary hit points, which is your usual barbarian ways, and enhancing tanking with teleportation.
Yeah. So I guess when they grant you the additional hit points, is they're gonna shout at you. You have more hit points. Be tougher.
Yes, I mean, that's one way. I mean, you can use strength as your ability checks now, right?
Yeah.
So you can use that as well. So another way is teleport. Other than teleportation, you can also control enemy movements with this subclass. And the other interesting fact is that it can extend your reach with melee weapons and lets you manipulate your weapon mastery properties. So basically, you can be, who knows, maybe like 10 feet away. The enemy thinks like, oh, you can't reach me. I'm 10 feet up in the high ground. But you're just like, oh no, I have my hand. Here you go. 10 feet reach. Here you go. You're welcome. So it's like, it's very interesting kind of subclass, and I'm actually pretty excited to try it out. But it's really definitely an exciting addition to the barbarians options we have right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and finally finish it off with Path of the Zealot. This is already, was quite a powerful subclass in my opinion, even though I think I've used it like once or twice.
Yeah.
But now it's been updated with significant changes. So now they have something called the Warrior of the Gods, which is a BAMF title. I'm not gonna lie. This feature now provides a self-healing pool of dice instead of relying on death-related abilities. Fanatical Focus is another one, which has been enhanced with bonus to rerolls.
Can you imagine this with a halfling?
Oh yeah, with the lucky.
Yeah.
That's gonna be ridiculous. And then Rage of the Gods, which grants divine powers like flight, damage resistance, and even the ability to prevent allies' deaths when you activate your rage.
You're so angry they can't die.
Yeah, I mean even just like the wordings of these new abilities just make you sound so powerful, and it also helps with into the role playing aspect of you being this like divine angry barbarian.
Oh, okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do when this thing comes out. I'm gonna play a Valkyrie.
Oh,
This will really fit as a Valkyrie.
oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
it definitely fits, and yeah, I mean it's really leading into that divine warrior vibe.
Okay, yeah, I think overall, all these updates to the Barbarian class makes it definitely more versatile, and it's giving more dynamic look to it, and it allows changes to different parts of your core abilities that you want. Like for the totem one, you can change your beast every long rest, and then with the path of the will tree, you can like change your weapon properties. That's pretty good experience. And the important thing that it does is it gives a new out of combat experience for barbarians outside of that, like when you can rage to use your ability checks, which I think will lead to a lot of interesting table experience.
Yeah.
I can only hardly wait for that. We should like have a one shot that's everybody is a barbarian.
That'll be very interesting.
so you still can have a rock band of barbarians and they're just raging with performance checks.
I mean, you can go with your original idea where we all play barbarians, but there's no combat encounters, it's all social.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, so maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's whether you're smashing through your enemies or providing support for your cavalry or smashing all the guitars on stage, right? there's gonna be something for everybody.
Absolutely. I think these changes are going to make the barbarian an even more appealing choice for players, especially because now there's not a lot that you can do. It's mainly barbarians is either you're either doing intimidation checks or you're doing like athletics. That's it. And whenever there's a chance to search for things, trying to find information, usually you just sort of back away because I would guess majority of barbarians have a negative to their intelligence score. So when it comes to that aspect, they usually are not that great. But now with this, adding your strength to your ability scores
while raging
is crazy.
Like stealth.
Yeah. So for players who are, whether you are a veteran or you're trying this class for the first time, I think it's definitely going to make it more fun, and it already sounds so awesome.
Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for joining us at DM Talks. If you got any question or thoughts about today's podcast, feel free to comment down below or even send us an email on what do you think. And if any questions, just let us know. And because we love to hear from you and we really like to hear your feedback. So please do ask questions.
Okay, so don't forget to subscribe for our next episode. And until then, happy adventuring. But we'd like to thank everybody here at Xpidemix for supporting this podcast. They have some new products that they're trying to sell. we have these LED dices.
Okay. LED
So you can
dice.
find the link in the description. They light up. They're glowing.
Oh, come on. Wait. Let's do
You,
one
you
more.
need to put it down. Let's see where you can roll a natural 20 or not.
I got a
Nope.
natural 10. Half of 20.
All right.
I can do math.
Thanks everyone for joining us
Alright,
today.
thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Like and subscribe.